It's not a very complex looking pattern. Okay, so what does it mean? What's going on here with this strange creature? There is a astronomical event, and that is the first quarter moon, or what's known as the half moon, forms a perfect right angle between the Earth and the Sun. In other words, the Sun lights up the moon exactly half lit, which is exactly what we are kind of showing here, these 90-degree angles. And there was also a lunar occultation where the moon passed in front of Spica, a star 250 light years from Earth. Now, the interesting thing is 25 is the number of grace from God and the gifts and grace from God. On this day that this crop circle appeared, July 13th, and the same time that the moon formed this right angle, just so happens to be the very day that Donald Trump took a bullet or had a scraping on his ear from a guy who has plenty time. He gets up on a rooftop and he fires 8 rounds, 8 bullets, and not only one of them scrape Donald Trump's ear. I thought that was interesting. Now, the guy who did the assassin was 20 years of age. And if you sum up each circle, you get 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is 20. And he fired 8 rounds. Now, how many corners of this pattern can you find? You can find that there are 8 outside corners. Now, if you take the location where Donald Trump was standing and you measure the distance between this crop circle and the place where, the very spot where Donald Trump was shot at, you'll find it's 5,861 kilometers or 3,642 miles. Okay, now 5861 is the Hebrew number for the words near, beside, or close by. And that's like what happens when an angel is close by you. Now, 3642 is to long for, to yearn, or to desire. And Psalm 118 verse 5, where it says, I called upon the Lord in distress and the Lord answered me. So that's like a calling for a miracle, and you were given it. And now 3642, if you divide that by the sum of 118 plus 5, which is 123, 3642 divided by 123 just happens to be the exact synodic period of the moon, 29.6. Now, when we look at the numbers of the pattern, again, a lot of it matches and lines up with the moon. If you've ever studied the moon, you'll see that a lot of these numbers match, line up with factors of the moon. When you study all the numbers individually of this pattern, you'll find that it matches chapters and verses in the Bible. They all speak of miracles and restoration and cry for deliverance and God's kingship and saving acts under divine protection and God's intervention and divine order out of chaos. Donald Trump's not exactly a difficult target. He's quite a big guy and he's wearing a bright blue blazer. You must think, how did a guy who's got a telescopic sight on a rifle, who's all comfortably perched up on a rooftop, how does he miss 8 rounds? I mean, surely the guy would have target practice before attempting an assassination on the president. Anyway. Now that we know this one a bit better, maybe you'll look at it a little bit differently. So on that note, let's move on to the next one.